Well, happy Friday, everyone. Here I'm with Betty Withrow. I'm Greg Dixon, Total Traffic and Conversion. Roy DeCan was here, and then he popped out. So maybe he'll pop in.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I hope so.
I hope so. Anyway, our topic for today is the case of authentic content marketing, and I almost thought that was a given that people would understand that and appreciate it, but apparently not always so. So I think one of the things is there's an the advent of AI marketing and all these tools that allow people to crank out stuff really fast and sometimes pretty good quality stuff. Um, but it's we're here going to Betty. This is really Betty's area for sure, and we're going to try to convince you that you need to be authentic in whatever you do, even if you are using AI for developing your content. So,
Right.
yeah. So Betty's thing as a ghostwriter, or a content writer, you write as you, not for you. So you're very conscious of writing in somebody's voice and being authentic to them. So maybe you want to elaborate on that.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. In fact, I was just in a conversation with a lady about exactly this topic, so I feel primed. Um, the thing that you want is to really identify how you're going to reach your readers effectively with the version of yourself that's most in tune with what it is that they need. And so we go into it in detail about who your target market is and how to what are your values. When once I understand exactly what your values are and what how you want to project your presence into the marketplace, then I can either make some recommendations about how to write your content or possibly write your content for you if that's a service that's going to fill that need. I think to Greg's point, a lot of people feel like, well, if I just push some buttons and throw some money at it, I'll get some results. However, are they going to be the results that you want? I would say that the best strategy is still the same strategy as before, which is to connect effectively with people over a long period of time or a short period of time, depending on their needs, and getting them to, yes, know, like, and trust you because they have in my case, I send out a newsletter that the people can read my newsletter and understand where I'm coming from. So then they could make a decision about whether they want to reach out and work with me. You know, again, that's the conversation I just had was based on my content marketing, reaching someone and speaking to a concern that she has as she's pivoting in her business. So when you go for the quick grab, the smash and grab, I would call it, of effect of marketing, I don't think you're going to get anywhere, honestly. I think that you need to be real about the fact that people take time to make up their minds. They may have something going on in their life that says, well, I'd love to do that, but I have to wait until something happens financially or any number of other things that as life progresses, stuff comes up. So, putting together marketing language that suits your market is the name of the game. And since you mentioned AI, Greg, AI is a great tool for getting ideas, and it's a great tool for helping you to create frameworks and things like that. It is not a great tool for writing your content. It sounds like a machine. It is.
Yeah,
So, you
it
know,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
I had an experience twice. I'm in a couple of networking groups, and they really want to encourage you to use My Most Trusted, which
Mhm.
is a plugin that allows you to reach out. The two times people have used it has annoyed me so much that I've almost unconnected myself with those people. So, yeah, so and somebody sent me a note yesterday, and I have known this person for 5 or 6 years, and it just came across as a sales pitch, right? It says, a simple "Hi, what are you up to?" Would have been better.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think that's an important point. Asking people what they're doing and what's happening in their life now can save everyone some embarrassment and some wasted time over, like you make a pitch to them and they're like, well, I'm not even doing that anymore. And don't you even see me? All you see is a sale. That's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
let me out of this room. And so
You
not
said
what you
something. Yeah, you said something very important about your newsletter, and people get to know you, right? And so they get a chance of who you are, and they may decide that, me, I'm not the person, or you're not the person, Roy's not the person. They know that, so they're not going to make they're not going to make an appointment on speculation that maybe it'll work out, right? They
Yeah.
already know. It says, oh, okay, no, that's not for me. Anyway, Roy, do you want to jump in here?
Yeah, bots really aggravate me, and you can't. I always try to. It's almost like bots are getting like the voice processing systems are. You can't ever get to a live human, and you keep hearing this stuff, this pre-programmed stuff, and it's just irritating, and it makes me want to, yeah, like you're saying, it makes me want to get away from the situation because it's just not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure some people have probably thought about some of the things I posted out to Facebook pages and my email, but it's something to be conscious of. Just make sure you're sending the right stuff to the right audience,
Mhm.
and I think the authenticity, which is our main word for today, is
Yeah.
true of everything, right? If you're not authentic, you come across as being either just pushing for a sale or phony.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me, there's no time to be anybody except who you are, because it's the best thing that you have to offer the world. So why not do that? And furthermore, be the best version of that, and let people know how who you are resonates with who they are or not. I mean, because let's face it, we're not for everyone, and so when people understand clearly who you are and where you're coming from, they can make the decision. Yeah, well, she might be really smart, but I don't like the way she acts. Well, if that's how you feel about it, then we shouldn't waste each other's time, right?
Yeah.
And it's good to know, as part of the magnetism that I prescribe for writing, when you understand who your audience is very clearly and you can picture that ideal person in your mind, you can create the content that has a magnetism between your mind and that mind, and it carries over into other people and their ability to grab onto the clarity that you've generated and give you an authority in their minds because you communicate clearly.
Yeah,
That's really the name of the game.
Betty's really good at this, and this is really the whole thing. I like to, when I'm presenting to somebody, I like to think it's one person,
Yeah.
and I like to have a relationship with that one person, and that's when it really works out the best. It may be more than one person that you're talking to, but it actually gets rid of the ones that you're not directly relating to, just like you're saying, Betty, and it allows you to talk to the ones that you are relating to, and that's really what you want. You want to talk to your ideal prospects.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. So the other thing, the part of this title here is content marketing, and maybe we should explain what we mean by content marketing. So one of the things, Roy's thing is niche domination. So the idea is when people are searching for you online, no matter what search engine or on YouTube or however, there's a lot of info. You show up. Your articles and your videos and your social media posts show up in the searches, and so people get to know you. They can find you, um, and that's really important. I've had a conversation recently with somebody who's virtually invisible online. Like um, can't be found. Like the and you know somebody had a website and they got exactly one listing in Google site dot their website name, exactly one listing, and there was no graphic and no descriptive text. So it's just like, oh, here's a random page that says nothing. And it's really quite shocking at this time people would have so little attention to their online presence. But that's part of our total traffic and conversion way is we're going to get you out. Roy's expertise is in Google business profiles. So if people are using maps or searching, you'll get a profile of your business and articles online. Betty and I, Betty likes, she walks the walk with a LinkedIn newsletter, so you get a really good idea. How often you put that out, Betty?
Once a week.
Once a week, yeah, once a week. We know somebody who more or less puts out something every single day, and I post quite a bit. Actually, I still probably have two or three articles this week, so I'm not totally behind. But yeah, so I like posting. I like getting up and doing video broadcasts as well. So
yeah, it's getting harder and harder to be found online. All the various properties are making it harder and harder for you. So you have to really do well with each one. LinkedIn wants certain things to happen. Google wants certain things to happen. And if you're aware of what these things are, you can be the one that shows up, because a lot of people aren't showing up, and
yeah.
Your niche can be the one that dominates.
The one that dominates. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the search engines are both blind and deaf. So, if you're just putting audio or you're just putting video, you might as well not have anything at all. So it's the title of the thing and the description that catches. And if you're doing blog posts, that's why longer blog posts can be effective, because if you just simply write about what you're talking about, you're going to use more words, and eventually those words are going to be something that somebody searches and finds you for.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And this is where Roy can really be supportive in finding the right keywords to bring people to your content, and after they've read you, or even while they're reading you, to your website. Because when you understand your market, one of the things that I focus on is understanding that, and you position those words properly within your content, you're much more magnetic in the marketplace.
Yeah, much more magnetic. And I think along those lines is you need to be cohesive and consistent in your messaging. So if you want to position yourself as to be an expert in ghostwriting or something, then you consistently put that out there and make it known that you're available, and maybe case studies, all that kind of thing, just so when people are looking for ghostwriters, all of a sudden Betty Withrow pops up. There we go.
Yeah, I like that idea, Greg. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else do we have to say about this topic?
Well, I think what you just said about consistency is an important piece. Like I said, try to put my newsletter out the same time, the same day of the week, because I know from blogs that I've followed in the past, for a while I was very consistently following a blog on simplicity, and every Sunday evening at a certain time, her post would come out. And when it didn't come out on time, I'd go, I hope she's okay. It was upsetting in a way, and then she would come on with a post that says, well, here's what's going on. And,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be quite as consistent because now I have this other thing going on in my life. And I'm like, okay. The point is that I felt like I was invested in her content very much.
Very much, yeah.
That's what you really want, is to connect with your people such that they're looking forward to what it is that you have to say.
But that's really important from an application standpoint too, because, for example, if you're not consistent on Google, you might not show up anymore, and you don't want to change. I know there are some people that when they get started, they do something every day, and then 3 months down the road they start doing something every month. Well, that doesn't go over well. You want to start off with every month, if that's the consistency you can stick to, because it really sends the wrong message to Google. It's the same thing with Facebook and with LinkedIn. And each one of them has kind of how often they really prefer that you post. And with LinkedIn, if you're a once a weeker, you're in the 1%. And if you're doing news articles once a week, you got to be in the 100th of a 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's just amazing. Just a post once a week puts you in the 1%. So Betty really knows what this is all about, and she can really guide you properly.
So, yeah. You're going to say something, Betty?
Oh, I'm just thanking Roy for his endorsement.
Yeah.
Well, it's only the truth.
So this may say more about me than anything. Is I subscribe to a number of people who send out an email once a day. Like Dave D is one of those. And one time, for some reason, I missed it, and it says, "Have I fallen off his list?" So I subscribed again. So I think I'm subscribed 3 times now. But I was in a mastermind with Dave said, and if you're getting that's all he's doing now is getting people to sign up on his mailing list. That's all of his marketing, entire marketing at the moment. And but he said, if you're going to send them an email every day, tell them up front. There
you go.
It says, but because if they're not expecting it, it can be annoying, right? So as you tell them that you're going to send something every day or every week or every month or whatever it is, let them know what your frequency is going to be. And I think, Roy, if you aim to do something once a week, that's pretty good, and probably a little bit more. It's hard to keep that up.
It is.
Yeah, it's hard to keep that up.
Yeah, it is.
You will get penalized by the application itself if you don't. So don't even start it if it's not. You got to think ahead on this thing.
Yeah.
Can I really do this once a day for the next year? No, then you better not do it.
Yeah.
Once a week is good. Even once a month. And when it comes down to websites, if you do a blog post once a month, but you always do it once a month, that's really all you need to do to keep your website really humming along and doing a great job for you.
Good point. Good point.
So I'm wondering if anybody in the audience has any questions for us or any comments, any war stories.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Yeah. So
they're shy.
Yeah, so I guess we should say that we can help you with all of these things. We all actually all are writers and content creators, Betty especially, and we can help you create your content. And I think your process is to really learn and get to know somebody, so understand what it is they want to achieve out of it and learn their voice. And then we can help you put that out. Make sure your website represents that. It's got good, it's search engine friendly. We can put together a social media campaign and then maybe a video campaign for you that you can get your message out and be authentic everywhere. So,
yep, it's all about being real, and so that's not too difficult to do.
No, and it's sometimes we can be pretty quirky on our broadcast here.
Yeah, but I do want to point out that each of us has a lot of strengths, but together we're quite a powerful team. And I would suggest that you start with us by having us analyze your online presence. We can tell you what you're doing well already, and we can tell you what you might want to improve upon. And more than likely, we'll be able to help you do exactly that. And if we can't, we will know someone who can. So you will come away with being able to grow your business in a much greater fashion than before you just came to us for your online presence.
Yeah, and it's something we tend not to even look at our own stuff very often. So it's a good thing to go out, sort of approach your website as though you're seeing it for the first time, or your online presence, and see what the message is, right? Because some people are horrified. They look at it, oh my God, I haven't done that for 7 years, and yet that's what my LinkedIn profile says, But so
some of the killer things are you may have used dates. And if you're talking about what's so important in 2021, wait a minute, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
2021 anymore.
Not 2021 yet. So I guess in terms of why this effectiveness review can be important, we had a client last year, I guess, asked us to review his online content, and his website looked pretty good. His social media profile looked pretty good, and he was getting invited to speak at engagements and stuff. And then he just sort of said offhand to Roy, he says, "Well, I make money by this consulting package I offer, and nobody's asking for that. They asked me to speak." And then we went back and looked, and there's no place not on his website, nowhere to be found online, any indication that he had this package. So I don't know. He was trying to attract the psychic network or something. I don't know what it was. It's just he just forgot to put the offer on all these pages, even though it looked pretty good. So
yeah, we've got tools that can analyze these things that you don't want to waste your money on and learn how to use them and all that kind of thing. We already know how to do all that. And we're already spending the money.
We're spending the money and taking the therapy for using them.
But sometimes, everything can look pretty good, but when you analyze it from a tool standpoint, you can find out, whoa, something wrong here. And we can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
And it can be pretty simple in a lot of cases, but without that tool, you would have never known, because it looks good. And you go, well, I don't understand why I'm getting no traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably going to help somebody with their website and not do anything more than take a look that they've got a decent image on every page and a good title and a good description so it shows up well. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, and that's something that people don't necessarily think they need to do. And but it doesn't take long. It takes probably a few minutes a page to actually do that. It's just almost a habit, right? But if you don't know what to look for, and we have tools, we can show you what your site looks like online. Yeah. So, yeah, a big question mark.
Yeah, right there, right when we're doing the evaluation, we can show you exactly what it is, and you can make a decision. Does it matter to you that you edit that and make it a little bit more like what you'd like to present yourself, or doesn't it? If it doesn't, well, then at least you'll know it's there.
Yeah. So, yeah, at least you'll know it's a problem. Though sometimes that surprises me. Oh, okay, I see that's a problem. 2 months later, it's still there. But anyway, what do they say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So, so at least you'll be informed. And we're off. We have charged for this, but we're going to offer it to anybody in the audience now for free. You can go to totaltrafficandconversion.com, and there's a sort of a number of places to book an appointment. But you could just reach out to myself or Roy or Betty. We're all over the place on LinkedIn. So, and you can connect with us, and we'll set up a review. So what we'll do is we'll probably have a short discussion with you about what you're trying to do. Right, and then we'll go take a look at your online presence. Like if you have a website or a blog post, LinkedIn, Facebook profiles, Instagram. Well, one of the first things we'll do is we'll try to find you. We just go on Google search and see if we can find you. And if we can't find you by your name or your company name or your or the topic area you're looking in, then we've got a problem. So.
Yeah, it's really good because it doesn't cost you anything to be found online.
Yeah,
and once you get that stuff in order, I mean, it can last for years. There's a little tending you should do to it, like once a month you should add a blog post or something like that.
Yeah,
but if you tend to it, just minimally. But you do something to improve it every month. You'll be surprised what a difference it can make.
Yeah.
I built sites over 10 years ago that there's basically not anything much been done to them since. and they're still driving all kinds of traffic on a regular basis. It's just amazing, especially if you dominate your niche and Google knows you do. I know Google more than other things. I'm getting really strong on LinkedIn too, but Google, especially, once they classify you as being the authority for your niche, you're golden for years and years and years. It's hard to mess that up unless you stop totally posting and you just don't do anything to your website, your Google business profile. You can lose all that. So it's kind of crazy to let that happen, in my opinion. Sorry. Giving you my opinion. I shouldn't be doing that.
No, that's great. So Betty, what last piece of wisdom do you have for everyone?
Well, I say that get in touch, get an online review so you can understand what it is that you actually need, and have a conversation with us about how to make that happen.
Yeah, and we're fun.
Well, at least we think so, right?
Yeah, well, at least we think so.
Right.
Well, we try.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So okay. So that's your mission is. I'm going to ask everybody just to go take a look at what you've got and just put your visitor's hat on and see what it looks like if that's what you really want. If you're not super happy with it or you're not sure, reach out to us and we'll take a look and we'll make some recommendations. And many of them are not difficult to make. They're more habits, just good habits when you're doing things. But if you want help with creating your content marketing plan, writing, we can help you with the writing of that content. And be consistent and coherent and cohesive. So.
But to get back to our theme for this meeting today, do not think that AI is just going to do everything for you. If that's what you're going to do because this is great. Now I've got a way to create content and I don't really have to worry about it. Well, that could turn out to be the worst thing that you ever did is to rely on AI, because Google knows when it's totally artificial and you did not create it. Yeah. And that can really go against you if it's not.
And not only Google, but your readers. They're going to be
the
like,
readers
too,
the
reader too.
Oh, the readers too.
Readers important too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, we had a client, a book client, and he got AI to write a section, and Betty says, "This doesn't really sound like you."
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well, see, that's one of the things I'm learning how to do is I'm dabbling with AI a little bit and finding out what are the strengths and the weaknesses of supporting a content writer. Is that you can get great concepts, but it's not going to sound like you. It's going to sound like a machine. And if you want your readers to say, "Oh, I don't want to read this. This is machine hamburger," then you're free to do that, but you're not going to convert any customers with that kind of content.
And AI can be very seductive because what it cranks out is really can be really good. And you might look at it and says, I couldn't have come up with anything better, but you need to put a check on, is it authentic to you? Is it consistent with your voice? Is it on message? Like it may be cool, but it may not be the message you want to put out.
Exactly. Yeah. It can destroy your brand, like in record time.
Yeah. So if you don't want to destroy your brand, make an appointment with us.
There you go. We'll save it.
Right.
On that note, maybe we should let everybody go for Friday.
I think we better get out of here while we're still safe, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah.